Sometimes, those with a strong attachment to a specific place during their lifetime choose to stick around, reliving moments or specific events that took place there. It all comes back to the history that was left behind. That history leaves an impression. This is the Haunted Happy Hour podcast, a show dedicated to uncorking chilling conversations about the paranormal. We're your hosts, Lily
and Vanessa. We dig through the history of locations to get an understanding of why certain places are considered to be haunted, what happened there, and why.
We seek to understand the reasons for encountering some sort of paranormal manifestations in certain locations while sharing our own experiences.
Took some shots, everything was great, but then when I looked the second time, I was already down to 7%. I had like 50 some.
Oh my gosh.
Join us in our haunted lounge as we share stories about the history, hauntings, and lore throughout our hometowns across the Midwest and beyond.
For those looking to find out what spooky tales lie trapped within some of America's cities and towns, join us for the next Haunted Happy Hour. We'll talk spirits, drink spirits, and sometimes even encounter spirits. I could definitely taste the vanilla.
Honestly, it's not as strong as what it smells like. I give this one 2 thumbs up.
Okay, now that we're enjoying our drink though, let's go ahead and talk about the stories.
You can catch us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeart, or anywhere you listen to your favorite podcast. And if you have Echo devices, an easy way to listen is just say, Alexa, play Haunted Happy Hour podcast.
So, we invite you to sit back, grab a cocktail, and let us introduce you to some history, mayhem, hauntings, and spirits right here on the Haunted Happy Hour podcast. Cheers!
Megan, I can't tell you how many times I have laughed just thinking about you doing your cat impression.
I honestly don't know what came over me. It's like I forgot anybody else existed.
The best part is that because it was so innocent.
It was so funny because you were just like ba 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 ba, and all of a sudden, I know. If you guys don't know what we're talking about, watch the last episode.
I cry laugh every time I think about it.
And I don't know how many times I've seen it because I was editing for the last 3 days.
I'm not laughing at you. I'm laughing at the whole situation on it.
You can laugh at me because
it's okay.
Like I still don't know what came over me.
Well, and my reply was, Megan, what are you doing?
And I was like, did you have a Mitch McConnell moment? Just like, no. Oh my God.
It's just your face. It was just so beautiful with how innocent it was.
Yeah.
And then when I called you on it, you're like, oh shit.
I know, like that's the thing. I'm telling you, like I legit forgot you guys were there. And I'm just like, dongle. Dongle. And then he's like, what are you doing? And I was like,
what it's called. It's not a dongle.
That's what Mayo calls it.
I know, but then I got stuck in my head going, what is it called? It's not called a dongle.
Amy L said it was the uvula.
Yeah.
So uvula. Yeah. That's what she was saying. Hi, Ghosty fam. Welcome to the Activity Continues podcast. If you're new here, we are friends and soul sisters who recap episodes of the TV show The Dead Files and talk about other creepy shit as well as TikToks
and TV shows we're watching and just thoughts that we might have.
Dongles.
Tasty, recipes, trivia, anything, one never knows what's going to happen. I'm Megan.
And I'm Amy. Thanks for joining us again. We are doing things a little differently. If you're watching the video, you can see that we are in person. We are at my house in my newly painted office. And we met in person. We had dinner. AP brought us a delicious pasta dish.
Beefy cheesy pasta, one pot.
Beefy and cheesy. It was delicious.
It was beefy.
And she even put some vegetables in there for our health.
It was healthy.
So it was healthy. And it was very delicious. And we had dinner and a couple of drinks. And then we watched the episode together. And because we yada for the whole first half of it, we had to watch it again. So we have just now watched the episode 1.5 times, and then now we're going to talk about it. So this one is Chaos in the Canyon, season 15, episode 7 or 8, depending on how they really do this. It's really episode 8, but they're goofing with the numbers. So I think they're calling it 7. Anyway.
And I like the alliteration of Chaos in the Canyon.
Yeah.
It makes me happy.
That's a good title. So please say hello to Amy P., a.k.a. AP, our newest team member. She's the fact lady, and she's going to tell you some little...
check.
Yep, she keeps us from
when
saying
I'm like,
stupid
oh my
shit.
God, it's ghosts, and AP's like, actually, it's wind chime.
I mean, I like to use logic.
Yeah,
My brain just
she's a
has to
logic
fill
one.
gaps in, even though I had a lot of experiences myself, and
She's a believer.
I am.
She's just logical.
I still have to have the healthy skepticism to pressure test things, right? Or fill in the blanks.
And then I'm like, oh my God, it's ghosts.
It's like, no, it's just your shadow.
Yeah. Like,
The ghost.
Yeah. So if you have not watched the show and don't like spoilers, please don't proceed. Go back, watch that. Pick a different episode of ours to listen to. They have a whole year prior to me joining of amazing episodes for everyone to check out.
65 video or 65.
Yeah, there's
I think,
plenty of
before
episodes to go check out to hear our wonderful Midwest accents.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, you betcha.
For sure.
And then come on
For
back.
sure.
Yeah.
Oh, for cute.
And then if we want to think about content warning, we never know what's going to come up exactly, but I think Megan's got a couple things.
I did have a couple of content warnings. There is child death in the history, and they also talk about lynching in the history as well. And there's murder, but I mean, there's always murder.
I mean, there's always going to be dead people, right?
Right.
We're talking about ghosts.
There's a brutal murder.
Brutal. It was a brutal murder. Oh yeah, this was
brutal,
this
senseless homicide.
Brutal. And I said, to which I said, aren't all homicides kind of senseless?
I would agree.
I don't know about that. Sometimes people are asking for it. The burning bed.
You're not wrong.
The Farrah Fawcett movie where she set her husband on fire in his bed because he was beating her.
I don't know that movie.
Burning Bed. Look it up.
I don't know. She's old.
I know. I'm very old. Farrah Fawcett was my idol. I loved her so much. I'll be editing this. I hear everything. Shit.
Maybe things that aren't there.
I do hear things that aren't there sometimes, especially if I run it through Adobe Enhance.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God, some of the stuff that comes out.
Yeah, you sent us some clips on that.
Oh, I'm like, who brought the demon?
Not gonna lie, I brought the sparkle. Look at me over here with the light shining behind me.
That's not in the video, you guys.
That's just coming right off of her. That's not my Temu light.
Oh crap! I light up a room.
Oh,
Oh,
no.
God damn it. Your days are numbered.
That reminds me, my mom gave me a plaque. It says, you're the greatest, blah, blah, blah. And it says you light up a room. And I'm like, God damn it.
Now you're going to get murdered.
I'm going to get murdered. Oh,
Thanks, Barbara.
Thanks, Barbie.
That's even your name.
All right.
Godspeed to you guys listening to this episode.
I don't know that we have that much to say about the actual episode as far as recaps go. We just have some thoughts.
Yeah.
But I want to say we did notice that there were a lot of recurring tropes. Like you said, the brutal murder.
Yeah.
What were the other ones?
Portal.
There's a portal.
Mention of a portal.
I don't know if I wrote the other ones down.
Native American, indigenous people.
Yeah.
Except that, well, Steve talked about it, but Cindy didn't bring up that necessarily. However, she did do a tobacco offering.
Yeah, that was
Which
interesting.
I really liked that she did.
Yeah, that was really cool. I'd never seen that.
And
At least not that they showed.
not that they showed. That's
Right.
true. And
True.
nothing against
And-
Amy.
No, and I like we've
We
talked
love
about
Amy.
a few times. It does seem like the editing is a little bit different.
It's
So
very
maybe
different.
It's very
Even
different. It's more
from-
dramatic.
even from the first 5 episodes that Amy was a part of, like
Yeah.
I don't. To me, if I go back and watch those feel so much more choppy and put together. Like I don't want to say rushed, but it has a different feel and different flow to it than even the previous.
And they
seasons.
probably were just trying to get him out because Amy was like, "I'm fucking leaving. This day. So we're either done or we're not. But
Figure
I'm
it out
on this day."
Yeah.
And what we found out with last week when we were interviewing Donalyn and her family is that they were supposed to have it at one point in time. They were supposed to come in, and then it was a couple of months later.
Right. They called and said, "Well, Amy's
gone,
and so now we have to come back another time."
It sounds like it was February or March when they remember having the crew there.
Yeah.
So
right.
Which she said it was cold.
She had her sweater on, which was so cute.
and she said, that time frame's pretty cold, which would also explain why we had such a break in the timeline of the episodes being released.
They're probably still editing.
Mm-hmm.
When they took the break, they were probably still editing, the later
because
episodes
at least
of this.
seasons 13 and 14, we know were released in March.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then with this one being released in June, the first ones, and then again in September too.
Yeah. And it's so far anyway, they are still calling this season 15.
Mm-hmm.
They just goofed with the numbers. But, and like I said to these guys, I don't know if I've said this on the show yet, but if you look at the list on the Travel Channel, it looks like they're going to replay the one with Pedro and what was her name?
Episode 6.
Yeah. They're going to re-release that as episode 10.
So they're taking it out of episode 6. It will no longer be episode 6.
Well, they called Donalyn's episode number 6.
Yeah. So I don't know what that is.
So I don't know what is going on with that. If that means that they dropped one of the episodes, because there's still 13 and there was supposed to be 13. So if they're playing this one twice, that tells me they dropped one of them.
Yeah, it's really interesting because I'm looking it up right now. That's what I was doing. And I see the episode guide. It still says that we're headed into episode 9, which would be accurate for what we're going to. So I have that pulled up for.
It'll be interesting to see what episode 10 is then.
Yep, they don't have that.
Doesn't have it on there?
No.
So I don't know where.
Because typically, and I've noticed this with other shows too, is when they're releasing one at a time, they tend to not release that episode till at least the week of the previous episode. And I've noticed that with other ones where I've been like, I just want to know what the recap is before I get to it.
Yeah, I found, and I thought that I was on the Travel Channel website. I might not have been. I might have been somewhere else. It might have been on the Dead Files. But this is what I have. I'm just going to pull it up here. Okay. So it says here.
Oh, and I have the Dead Files on Travel Channel up too.
Okay. 15:6 is The Butcher. That's Donalyn.
Yep, I see that.
And then 15:7 is Chaos in the Canyon. That's what we're doing tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then next is Nowhere to Hide.
Yep.
Episode 8. And then
Imprisoned is the next one.
Yes. Imprisoned is number 9. Shadows of Death is number 10. Cynthia and Pedro.
Yeah.
Dream of Settling Down in the Arizona Desert. So that's the one they've already showed as number 6.
Yeah.
And then number 11 is Burning Hatred.
Yep.
And then number 12 is Isolated.
Yep.
Number 13 is The Eternal Haunting. So
that's what I have there. But then when I look at like the Dead Files episode guide, whatever we have here, it says that Shadows of Death is 6, aired July 6th of 2023. And then the 7 is Butcher, then Chaos in the Canyon is 8, and 9 is Nowhere to Hide. So what the fuck?
So it only goes up to 9. So
And
it's
they're
keeping
off,
that.
though. But
No.
because-
This would be on for what we've seen.
Yes, that one's correct for what we've
Yes.
seen.
Oh, okay. Yep.
And this is not. And I thought...
Because you're throwing numbers at me, and it's confusing me.
But when you look at least this one is giving me like next week's is in Colorado, it looks like.
Ooh, fun. Smoke a joint.
Light them if you got them.
Light him up. So we should probably talk a little bit about the episode.
We probably should. I mean, we started. So
and we derailed.
yeah, okay. So it's Lisa.
Yes.
Who's the one that called?
Yes.
She has a husband, Kevin.
Yes.
Husband
Son
Kevin.
Steele.
Son Steele, who's
They
a
live on a
teenager.
goat
I want to say he's like
farm, or-
maybe I guess like 17.
I would guess 16.
16,
I would guess
17?
16.
Yeah, I would say in the six.
He's a
16
tall
to 18.
guy.
He's a tall-
So
I would say they don't live on a goat farm, but they do have 2 goats.
They have
and
goats.
They are so cute.
Yeah,
At
they are
least two,
cute.
yeah.
That Kevin is feeding when Steve walks up to him and is like, "Hey, Kevin, do you have a time to talk?" And Kevin's like, "Oh, hey, Steve.
Hey, what are you doing here, Steve DeShavi? We have not been expecting you for 3 weeks.
Imagine seeing you at my house after we called in your TV program to come and talk to us about our ghosts. What a surprise!"
It's ghosts, not goats.
Not goats.
Yes, and
goats.
Steve is like,
Spirits.
"What I misunderstood," and then they leave, and that's the end of the
That's
episode.
the end of it.
Everybody,
Yeah, it was a short one.
It was
That's
short.
why we had to watch it
you
twice.
gotta enunciate.
Yeah.
Goats,
Goat.
not ghosts.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know.
We have feelings.
I'm not discrediting that
Right.
they're going through stuff. I fully believe that.
We all agree that we believe what they're saying, what
Yes.
they've seen, what they're experiencing, all of that. We totally buy
feel
that.
Like Lisa just wanted to get on TV.
I mean, I will say the hard part of that when you get to the end and then they talk through everything and she's like, "Well, we're not leaving, so
Yeah.
we're not going to do that."
Yes.
And then
Well, then why the fuck did you call them
exactly.
And the recap is 4 weeks later, and it says, "Oh yeah, we brought in a team of experts,
an
and-
extensive team of
in? Yeah,
experts.
when they
that
cleansed
Which-
the entire property, which is huge, by the way.
Which, you know, like, yeah, maybe they did do it in that short amount of time, but also we've talked with others who have had more
Struggle.
time, or they struggle to get, you know, a Reiki master or a shaman who is, you know, a strong male, or a voodoo practitioner, or whatever it is. I can't remember if it's priestess, or practitioner in voodoo. My apologies.
I think it's priest or priestess. I mean, maybe
Yeah.
it's both. Maybe it's all 3.
Yeah. And so, but, you know, nonetheless, we've heard of other people having a lot of, you know, maybe because they're in California, not far from LA, that
Yeah.
there
There's
is
a wider pool. to
there's
choose
a
from.
wider pool than in Timbuktu, North Carolina.
But that is probably very
It's
valid.
just, because Sydney's like, "You need to leave." And Lisa goes, "Well, just speaking for me, I'm not going to leave."
Yeah.
And it's like, then what
Well, we're
the
not
fuck?
gonna do that.
I will
going
say
for?
the look on her husband's face, at first, I will say I thought he was like, "Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah.
We're not leaving." But then when he talks more and you're listening, and the way they have it cut, where it appears that he's looking at his wife, is like, "But you've had issues." And he even stated, "I don't want another call where you were screaming
Yeah.
and crying."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I just don't. She just wanted to be on TV.
Yeah,
in my
that's
opinion.
what I thought.
I go
too.
back to even Steele, the son, when he's in his little room and sitting there, and he's talking about the figure that he sees, and he's like, "I think it's something attached to the land." You don't really necessarily hear, or at least I don't recall hearing his mom or dad really talk too much about thinking the land is the issue.
Right.
She talks about having this connection to the woman, and then Cindy at the end is like, "Is it you or Helena who is being drawn to the land?" And Lisa's like, "I don't know. How am I supposed to know?"
And then Sydney's like, "You're a psychic and a medium." And she's like, "Oh." It's like, well, no fucking shit.
Yeah, I
You're
mean,
sitting on the edge of the bed,
Writing.
doing
like-
automatic writing with what the lady is saying. Yeah. So obviously, friends, if you haven't watched the episode, you have no idea what the
You
fuck
have
we're
no
talking
idea what
about.
we're talking about.
But
And to
it's
be
got to be a trip for you to go back, listen to what the hell we're saying, then go back and be like, "Yeah," or
or no,
"Those women are idiots."
Yeah.
well, I mean, I could say that.
Either way, it could
But-
go either way.
To be fair, though, like, we don't really know what we're talking about most of the time.
That's
either.
true. That's
and
true.
we're saying it, so
Yeah.
I'm so sorry for you
You
guys.
guys speak for yourselves.
Just kidding. I do speak for myself.
Anyway, yeah.
I
So
I do think it was a really, like, it was an interesting episode. It's always really, like, I find more and more, at least to me recently, that there's less of what Steve uncovers during the conversation that's being shown in the reveal, is what I feel like. I feel like in a lot of the previous seasons, that every time that he met with a
Historian or
historian,
genealogist,
author,
not a gynecologist.
somebody that we saw some connection to each pieces of those,
Yeah.
and not necessarily. I don't know, something that way. I still wish that he didn't look at the pictures or
I hate that.
or
I
give
didn't want to
the.
show you this.
Oof, whoa.
Ooh,
I'd rather see that.
you're not gonna like this one.
Yeah.
Okay, Steve, let's simmer down. It's not the dogs, and let them see the picture. Because, like, you're already putting thoughts into their mind.
Exactly. And that's something that I've thought about since day one starting this, over a
Mhm.
decade ago, watching it, of just being like, but why is he telling them what they should
Yeah.
feel about it?
Shouldn't they be the ones opening the envelope?
Oh, that would be a good way to do
That's
it.
Producers, listen.
That's
up.
actually how I've always felt.
Why
about it,
wouldn't they?
Is
Steve could make a show of, like, here's the envelope, the sketch. I haven't looked at it.
Still sealed.
Cindy hasn't looked at it. Please
Because-
open it up.
I don't know, but here's this picture. What do you think? And in some of the cases in the past, Amy's been like,
Yeah.
and
It's like, it could be him.
and,
I don't know.
and some of the people will be like, I mean, I guess if you the shape of
Yeah,
the nose,
Sometimes
I
they
guess, or those
really are
eyes.
grasping at straws. It's like
They
the
are.
eyebrows are the same. I'm like, they're nothing
Yeah,
near the same.
Oh, he's got a neck that might be. It's like, okay.
This guy had a neck too.
Oh, it's gotta be him.
Gotta be the same guy.
The only explanation is paranormal.
Really, the only explanation. That's going on a T-shirt, you guys.
It
For
should be
sure.
merch.
It's kind of one of those like, could you put a hat on him? Let me see if I see him with
Right.
a hat on.
Could we maybe dim the lights and I'll squint and turn on a disco ball and then I'll be
And
able
then
to
I'll
tell
tell you.
you. It's like, and then other times Steve is like, I think they're the same person. And it's like, keep your thoughts to yourself, Steven.
Well,
Would you do this in a murder
yes,
investigation?
he would. That's the thing.
Oh.
That's exactly how they do it. They prime the person that they're interrogating.
Okay, Steve.
Yeah.
Well, and that is like just even one of those, or like in previous, and he didn't have it in this episode, but in previous ones where he's like, well, I have a picture of this person. And then Amy's like, well, I did a sketch. And then it's always dead ringer.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Amy is very good about not saying,
She is.
oh, that totally looks, here's the sketch I did. It looks just like, she's always like, well, you tell me.
She's had a couple though, where at least from the way that they cut the reaction, that she's like, yep, that is definitely this person. But, and we haven't seen any of that with Cindy necessarily yet, because it's only been a couple episodes. But I feel like she would probably have that same category of like, I mean, it could be.
Yeah.
Because there is no 100% definite
Right.
Yeah.
way to know that's that person. But I do appreciate, like, we hear Cindy in at least the last two episodes, because I really can't remember the one from July that we would have seen with her, that she's like, hey, this could be this person, or this is a name I'm hearing.
Mhm.
Joe was last week, Mary this week.
Mhm.
And Mary being related to the name of the daughter of Helena,
Who was the initial landowner of
Yeah.
the property.
the
She's
canyon
the
is named
Polish
after her.
actress,
Yeah.
right?
Yes, the
Helena
Polish actress.
Majeska,
which is what the-
Mary
canyon is named her.
Ilka was her daughter.
Yeah.
Mary Ilka, she was the toddler who died.
Which then makes you wonder if, when her daughter passed away in Poland, did she grieve so much and keep that attachment of part of, like we've heard in the past too, like maybe a part of the soul
Mhm.
sticks with somebody, or part
Yeah.
of the spirit. And potentially that's why Cindy's getting the name Mary,
Maybe.
and Lisa was getting the name Mary.
And I mean, if you think about it, passing away as a toddler, your mother
You're gonna
is
wanna
your
stick
whole
by your
world.
mom.
Like, what other world do you know besides
Well,
your
and
family?
also the mom is clearly, I'm sure, thinking about her daughter
Right.
all the time. And so it's top of mind
Mhm.
for her. So it would be in her spirit life too.
Yeah.
Great point you bring up though, Megan, with, like we hear about people being old souls and having lots of time before. So, was it potentially that the soul was of the 2-year-old, or was it really that spirit that embodies that,
Mhm.
that, human form,
Mhm.
whatever that looks like? And so did she afterwards be like, okay, now I just got to hang around here and I'm supposed to watch over Helena, who's my mom, but really in another life we were connected a different way.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
That's an interesting thought too.
yeah, throw it out there.
Just spitballing.
Spitballing.
Spitballing ideas.
All right. So we also, let's see, what else did I take a note on? We learned about Bright's disease.
Yeah.
Oh,
Which
yeah.
Amy looked into, AP looked into a little bit while we were doing our little half rewatch.
Yeah. Well, and because I think we were, it was that like, and that connection to the husband, Kevin, having had kidney cancer, renal cancer of the kidneys. And Bright's disease, didn't really know what it was. So
and
I
they
had to
said
look
that
up.
Helena died of Bright's disease.
Yes.
And Helena was the original owner who
And
had the daughter who passed away.
Yeah, and she passed away at the age of 68 in like 1903 or something like that. So I just looked up some information about Bright's disease, and this is coming off of the library at, must be the University at Leeds. So it's from the UK, but so it's a legit source, not just something with made up. But Bright's disease is an archaic term for what is now referred to as nephritis. Nephritis is an inflammation of the kidneys caused by toxins, infection, or autoimmune conditions, and is not strictly a single disease, rather a condition with a number of types and causes. So there's a few different types that could go. One being one that is spread through untreated urinary tract infections, which if you think about hygiene during, even recently, up until recently.
Lack of hygiene during the 1800s?
Correct. So untreated urinary tract infection, could that have possibly led to something like Bright's disease or Helena?
Mm-hmm.
The possibility is pretty high. The next one is with lupus, caused by the autoimmune response during a lupus flare. And so it's one of those terms that you hear, but you don't necessarily think that the such severe nature of it. And then there's another aspect of nephritis that is caused by injury to the kidneys during exercise. So it's considered an athletic nephritis.
To which I say, and Amy says, another reason
Don't
to not
exercise.
Okay, well, I'm going hiking tomorrow.
Yeah.
So
You're going to find a body or become a body. I don't think it's a rule. Hikers and joggers, all you do is find bodies. That's why I don't hike or jog.
maybe we are going to state park. Yeah. So just some interesting things about Bright's disease that there's, and it's named after Dr. Richard Bright, who was credited for the discovery of the disease through his research on patients who exhibited dropsy or swelling and something else I can't pronounce. So
I've heard of dropsy. I think we covered it.
Yeah, we
Where
did.
they had dropsy.
Yeah.
Somebody died of dropsy.
I don't remember what it is, but it's not just kidney disease, isn't it?
No.
Doesn't it have
No.
something else?
prior to this publication, physicians would have diagnosed patients who exhibited swelling and, okay, I'm going to try to guess. It's a protein in the urine that's called
Albumin.
albuminuria.
Nailed it.
It's like albuminuria with the general problem of dropsy. With this creation of the category of Bright's disease, it became possible for physicians to recognize and treat the dangers of kidney inflammation. Bright came to be known as the godfather of nephrology for his work on kidney diseases. And so
Dropsy is an old term for the swelling of soft tissues due to the accumulation of excess water.
Yeah, it's basically edema.
my dropsy means that I just fidget too much with things and I throw them on the floor.
Yeah. Yeah, I always just say, got a case of the dropsies when you Butterfingers or you're dropping stuff all the time. Yeah.
Ah, there it is.
Hi, friends. Do us and yourselves a favor and check out our affiliate, 3 Spirit Drinks. They create plant-based, non-alcoholic elixirs that are cruelty-free and vegan, and they are designed to give you some of the benefits of alcohol without the hangover and other side effects. If you're looking to cut down on alcohol but still want the buzz, check them out. The link is us.3spiritdrinks.com and use the promo code TheActivityContinues for 15% off your entire order.
Oh, one thing I want to mention about this episode that we all loved, Cheryl Dorsey The
She's
retired
been back.
LAPD was back. You guys, do you remember her?
I mean,
She is beautiful, black
Yes,
woman with
yes.
gray hair, piled
also
up.
really smart.
Yes.
Really, yeah, I know. I mean, I don't want to say we just love her because she's beautiful. She's awesome. And
She has a really fun little tattoo on her
yeah,
neck.
we noticed a tattoo on her neck that we hadn't noticed before.
Didn't match, and I loved it. It was so.
Well, they matched, but they weren't the same.
Yeah, they were
They were
coordinating, not identical.
Yes, exactly. One was a long string and one was a hoop kind of thing.
But
they were
same
beaded.
beads.
Yeah. Anyway, we're happy to see her again. She was awesome, and she told a good murder story.
Yeah.
I mean, if there is such a thing as a good murder story,
Which goes into, it was kind of funny because I feel like Steve really was like, murder over $2.50. Okay, but we're talking about the 1890s.
Right.
So I, of course, had to look up what is $2.50 in nowadays. And it'd be around $90, between $80 and $90, depending on what year, because I don't think we got a specific year. However, she talked about that this was, this person was expecting, what was it? Fernando Torres was looking.
Francisco
Torres, thank you. He would get $9 a week.
Mm-hmm.
But if you get $6.50, now it's not a choice for murder. However,
It could be.
third of your paycheck is missing. So if you think about your paycheck right now, and don't think about all the stuff you lose on taxes, but your takeaway at the end of the day, if that was garnished by a third by your employer for no reason.
And they weren't concerned about it at all because he went to
his boss.
And he's like, hey, where's my $2.50? And the boss was like, well, that sucks.
And went out to go feed the chickens.
Well, I think, you remember they said that there was a poll tax that equaled $2.50 that every employee was supposed to pay, and he refused to pay it. So my guess is his employer took that out to pay it on his behalf.
Well, and did he refuse to pay it, or did he understand that he was supposed to be paid? What was...
Yeah, she said he refused to pay it. I don't know.
Right.
Of course, we don't know for sure. But that's what she said. And so my guess is the employer took it to pay the tax knowing that he would not, that Torres would not.
Yep. And potentially, yep. So, I mean, we all get ticked off when we look at our paychecks and we're like, I get paid this much, but I only get this much when it comes around to it.
As someone who does payroll biweekly, people do get very angry if their paychecks are off.
Yeah.
They get very upset.
Yeah.
They get very angry phone calls to me.
I bet.
I'm sure.
And, you work for a reputable business.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like, it's some fly-by-night that's going to be stealing your money. Obviously, this is all on the up and up.
Right.
So for someone to call and yell at you about it, I mean, unless it was an egregious error or something. But, I mean, I would think that most of that stuff, at least when I did payroll, it's automatic. It just comes out. It's based on a percentage, and there's nothing. It's not like Megan did anything wrong.
Right.
So
most of the time.
Except for when it is.
Except that one. We don't.
All right. What else we got?
And that's where we had the murder was of a person who was highly respected in the community. I think he was a sheriff?
And like the assistant to the sheriff.
Yeah, he worked
closely with law enforcement, and so
I think he was law enforcement, but I could be wrong. But then
they got pissed that he got murdered.
Yep.
So they broke into the jail with a pickaxe
and a knife.
Yeah. So the guy who killed him, Torres, was arrested, and the people of the town broke into the jail, tied up the warden who was looking, watching over Torres.
Yep.
Took him out and lynched him up on a telephone pole.
Hung him from a telephone pole. Yeah.
We had another Dead Files episode where a similar thing happened, where they went to the jail, pulled the guy out, and lynched him.
Yeah.
Yep. A lot of them from the South. Mm-hmm. That's what happened.
Yeah.
I don't think of California as the South, but I mean, it is Southern. Yeah. But it's a Southern state.
I mean, a lot of the ones that we just did in June, July were Southeastern United States.
Yeah, South Carolina, North Carolina,
Florida, Alabama.
Florida.
Yep. Florida. We met with our financial people. We talk about taxes and state taxes and stuff. And they said, so do you think you will stay in Minnesota when you retire? And I was like, I don't know. I know I'm not going to Florida.
Mm-hmm.
That I can rule out.
Yeah.
Sorry, Floridians.
Of the
Too fucking hot.
Of the 50 states, we're ruling out at least one.
Yeah, there's others I can rule out, but for Florida,
Probably Alaska too.
Yeah.
Too cold. Too cold.
I don't mind the cold.
No, it's too cold.
I mean, I wouldn't want to live in the tundra, but
That's Alaska. There's like 10 people in the state. I'm just kidding.
Megan's never been to Alaska.
I've never
She
been
hasn't
to
seen how
Alaska.
beautiful it is.
Full disclosure. I'm not saying it's not beautiful. Bob Ross lived there for 12 years.
oh, did he? With all his happy trees?
All his happy trees. Yeah.
Good for him.
Happy little mountain.
Yeah.
Every tree needs a friend. No such thing as accidents.
Speaking of Alaska, did you see this week on my trail cams that they have for watching the bears? That I think it was this week or last week. They found a hiker who was lost.
Oh, yeah,
He
yeah,
came
yeah.
across the
Yes.
cam, and of course, it doesn't have sound. But he started mouthing, like he started talking to it, and basically looked like he said, "I'm lost." And there's avid watchers of the bear camp
Yeah.
who saw this, and several of them
Oh my God,
contacted
I
to
love
the
that.
Great.
rangers up there and said, "I think you have a lost hiker in this area." And I just saw him talking to the camera, and they were able to get out, and they were
Oh
So
my
smart.
God,
So
I
lucky
love
he found that
that.
camera.
Mhm.
That's so great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, don't go hiking.
Hey, I just bought hiking shoes.
Okay.
I did for I was going to say for Florida. No, I'm not going to Florida.
Scotland.
We already established that. For Scotland. I am going to Scotland. And I know that it's very hilly and there's lots of walking. Although when we went 5 years ago, I just wore basically beach shoes and I was fine. But we might be doing more walking because we're going to be out in the borders area. We're not.
But when I went last year, my hiking boots from REI, freaking love them. They're so light. They're so nice. I have a pair of hiking shoes that I'll take out to when I go out to Oregon in a couple weeks. But
Yeah, our friend, Mary, UFO Mary, who works at REI, she gave me, I told her what I was doing, what I needed. She asked me, do you have any special gait or anything? She knew all stuff to ask. I know, she's so smart. And then she sent me screenshots of 5 different shoes to pick from. And
Nice.
she told me the ones she liked the best and the ones that her wife likes the best. And I was like, well, these are the cutest ones, but they're not probably, and they were the Brooks, the ones that you like. And
I love those ones.
yeah. And I got the Hokas.
Yep.
And they're super cute.
Mm-hmm.
Not that I
That's
really
what
care
matters.
that much about that, but if I'm going to be wearing them
Right.
all day, they have to so I got purple because of course
Obviously.
it's my color.
Do you like
going to
it?
match everything.
Does she like? I don't
Like purple?
understand.
At all.
I want to say yes, but it's a very questionable yes. I'm questioning it.
I feel like purple is her least favorite.
I don't know. If only there was a sign. If only there was a way.
There was a
For
way
us
to
to
see
know.
if Amy
You know
liked
what?
purple.
The only explanation is
Paranormal. Paranormal.
Literally the only explanation. Yeah.
Also, if we have any listeners in Scotland, I
Yes.
think we do.
Do we might.
I think we do.
If we have any listeners in Scotland,
if-
please reach out. I'm going to try and meet up with Mom's Mysteries and Murder.
Yes, that's
Marty
right.
and Effie.
Mhm.
Marty and Effie. I can't say their names in the right
Mate.
accent. Marty.
No, that's not
Monty.
right at all.
Moti. I can't remember how they say it.
I adore them.
And then also, is it
Or Ailey.
Ailey? Ailey and Kieran from Generally Spooky History. I'm going to try and meet up with them too, hopefully. So,
Yeah, if you're in Scotland, Amy's heading your way.
That's right.
We should
Couple
try to
weeks.
find time to meet up with the haunted happy hour.
I know they're
ladies.
close. They're close by. They're not right here, but I think they're Michigan, right?
Iowa.
Oh, was it Iowa?
Yeah. Quad Cities.
Oh,
That's south. They're south.
Iowa.
South Iowa. There's a south part of Iowa. Don't look at me like I'm an idiot.
Okay, but when you say south, I don't think Iowa. Like I know Iowa is
South
south of us.
Iowa. There's a South
Right.
Iowa.
no, that it
And
has
there
to be.
is
There's a South everything.
Iowa. Yeah, Amy. Don't look at me like I'm an idiot today, right now. Sometimes that look is warranted, but not now.
But they're still in Iowa.
Yeah, but it's South Iowa. They're South
Still,
Iowa,
Still only like 5 hours away.
Yeah, we should try and find meet up
but
with them.
it's still Iowa.
They seem super cool.
They do.
Yeah, Haunted Happy Hour. Maybe we'll make them our promo this week.
Yeah, they're sisters.
Oh, are they?
Yeah, because they talk about their sister-in-law all the time or their
Oh.
brother.
Okay.
at least in the episodes that I've been listening to. And I'm like, I'm pretty sure this is
Cool.
And we should probably, ladies, if you're listening, I know you guys love the Kentucky, what is it, the bourbon cream, which I also love from Buffalo Trace, but they haven't tried Five Farms, is my guess.
Oh, yeah. That's the stuff that Amy brought over here. It's like Bailey's, but
oh my God, it was
better.
so good.
Yeah, the Five Farms Irish cream.
It made
County
Bailey's taste like shit.
It made Bailey's taste like plasticky.
It was so creamy.
It was really
and
good.
Smooth.
Really, really good. I still love Bailey's, and Bailey's is what I can
still love
afford.
Bailey's.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I'll buy that Five Farms when it's on sale, but it's pretty pricey.
It is
so
pretty
smooth.
pricey, but you stick a straw in it and just.
Oh my God.
It's perfect. It was like.
I did buy a bottle, and it I don't even know if it lasted a week.
It was so. It's just. Oh my God. It's like.
I'm definitely a little behind listening to the ladies, but they're so funny as they're like, "Yep, I gotta ration out and like use a dropper on the amount of the Buffalo Trace I'm gonna use."
I'll have to try that. I like regular Buffalo Trace. Buffalo Trace makes
the
it
bourbon
good.
cream.
I've never had bourbon cream though.
It
next
rivals
time.
the Five Farms.
Next time we get together, we'll have to get.
I have some in my
The podcast will buy it.
in my fridge because my cousin went down to Kentucky last year or right after Christmas last year, and I was like, "Oh, can you buy me a bottle of the Buffalo Trace bourbon cream?" Because you can find it in the state, but it's not always the easiest to get. Like I think Total Wine has it and stuff.
Total Wine has everything.
So I had it
It's
out,
not an advertisement.
and
They're not sponsors.
No, they're not. I wish they were.
Yeah.
neither is Buffalo Trace, but we keep talking.
Call us.
And my
We'll talk about you more.
if you want to send us any bottles, we will be happily able to
We will
sign.
try them and we will share thoughts.
But my mom took the bottle, put it in the fridge, and I went to go get some of it like a little while ago, and I was like, "Why is this half empty?" I hadn't even opened it.
No.
Mom, I'm calling you out on this one right now, and I love you dearly, but you touched it, and I didn't even open it yet.
Not acceptable.
No. What's your mom's name?
Deborah.
Deborah. Come on, Deborah.
Also, you should be a pessimist and say that it was half full.
No, it was half empty because it was gone, and I didn't have any of it yet.
Deborah. We talked about
Well, and
Classic Deborah.
classic Deborah.
she goes by Deb, but she's not one of those.
Classic Deb.
She's in trouble now. It is
exactly.
Deborah.
She's
Deborah,
Deborah. I
but
mean,
she's in
she's
trouble.
lucky I'm not using her middle name.
But she's also not like the ones that we see on some of those Facebook groups.
Oh yeah, there's some. It's Deborah.
Debbie.
There's a lot of Deborahs
Deborah's.
that are causing problems in the Dead Files Facebook groups.
Deborah's smarter than that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where's Amy? I miss her.
When's Amy coming back? You guys, is Amy coming?
My favorite is when they're commenting
girl.
on Cindy's post and they're like, "I like you, but I miss Amy."
She's
Like,
like,
that's so
thanks.
rude.
Thanks a lot. Dumb fuck.
I'm gonna pull up Cindy's post because I thought
was
I
good.
was so proud
Mhm.
to see what she wrote. She did it so classily.
Yeah.
Cindy, call us.
Cindy, if you would like to be on our show.
She was so good on it, but it was totally just a, like, from my point of view, is like, shut up.
Yeah. She's like,
fucking-
obviously, I want to do it my way, but this is the format of the show, and we want to keep to the format of the show. And like, I respect that.
15 fucking years.
I respect it.
Yeah.
I think she took it down.
Oh, you know,
Did
somebody
she?
screenshotted it in the group? So let me see if I can find it.
Yeah, somebody put that. I saw it this morning.
I know, but I'm looking for it right now and I don't see it on her page.
But she was nice.
She was
She
so
wasn't
nice
snotty
about
or
it.
anything. She should
But I
have
wonder if
taken
somebody
it.
told her that she.
Oh, I hope they didn't tell her to take it down. She basically just, if we can't find it, she just basically said that, thank you so much for welcoming me. You guys have been great, blah, blah, blah. And then she said, just to like address some of the things that people are saying, I don't draw my own sketches because this is the format of the show. It's been doing it for a long time and we're keeping it. And then she addressed lots of people have been complaining about like, why doesn't the show give them a medium or give them some? And she went and said, I have a list of people. I do give their numbers. I do try to set people up with someone that they can get help from. If I don't know anyone in the area, I will see if anybody I know does, blah, blah, blah.
Yep.
So she basically just kind of tried to...
She addressed a lot of the
Yeah.
comments, and it wasn't necessarily questions that people were throwing out, but it was a lot of...
More like accusations.
Yeah, comments and accusations. And I thought it was so beautiful the way that she wrote it. And it was just like, hey, just thank you all for being there and for supporting us and all of this stuff. And it's like, hey, the show's got, a way that it does things, and we're not changing that up. And yes, I like to do this, but that's not what we're doing here. And yeah, I don't see it anymore on her page. So, well, Cindy, we support you.
Yes.
I don't see it in the group anymore.
She's never...
Oh, here it is.
Never put it as her trying to take Amy's position.
Yeah, I think I found it. 13 hours ago.
I just looked on her page and I don't see it at all.
Here, everyone.
This is Cindy Keza's post from 13 hours ago as of it is 8:13 p.m. on Friday, the 15th right now. Couple of notes to fans and viewers. Thank you for showing me grace and support as I work on the Dead Files. This show has been on,
Now I'm seeing it now.
Oh,
but I was literally on her page and I didn't see it. I flipped through everything.
Weird.
But yeah.
I thought you were going to tell me I said the date wrong or something.
Nope.
Okay. This show has been on for many years and I'm grateful to be a part of it. I always give a number of mediums that I already know to the family, the number of mediums that I already know to the family or to the producer of each episode to give to the family. If I suggest the family use a medium to help them clear the energy in their homes. If I don't know a medium in the area that the family lives, I do research and help find one, give that number to the producer, or try connect the family with someone who does. I never leave a case without trying to help find the family a medium or mediums who can help them. At the end of the day, each family has to decide for themselves how they want to proceed, and if a family chooses to stay and finds a solution, that is the best news, honestly. Some people are suggesting we change it up or get rid of the sketch scene. By the way, I've always loved the sketch scene, and I'm glad we continue doing it because it's so helpful in identifying the cause of the haunting. If anyone has other ideas, please share. I'd love to hear them. I think she changed that because she did say, we're not changing it because we've been doing it like this for so long.
So she did edit it.
She did edit it.
She probably got told to edit it.
Yeah, probably. Entering a show that's been on for 15 seasons, mid-season is not necessarily an easy task. So I appreciate all of you who have been supportive during this transition. I'm grateful for the opportunity to work with these families and to work with Steve and Matt. Thank you all for tuning in.
So that was a really classy.
Yeah. She's a classy lady.
Oh, I absolutely, I think I saw it right away this morning. I was like, this is so nice. Perfect for her to say that kind of stuff, because I know we've been kind of like, okay, come on, people, just back off.
Yeah.
Back off.
And
quit commenting on her post and saying, I like you, but I like Amy better.
Yeah.
And
we don't dislike Amy anymore.
Exactly. You can like them both.
Right.
Liking Cindy doesn't mean you don't like Amy.
Right.
But Amy had to do what was best for Amy.
Exactly. Is she coming back though?
I don't know. I hope it's here soon.
Just a reminder, you're not in a relationship with either one. So
exactly. You don't know these people in real life. So sit down,
my life.
Deborah.
I'm in a real... Okay. I'm not calling out Deborah.
Not Amy's mom.
Not my mom.
This is Debbie.
Yeah.
What about Amy? I miss her.
What?
I hope it's here.
Who's that new girl?
It's exhausting.
It is.
Well, I think the worst part of that is it's not like this is new news.
No, this has been going on for quite some time.
Didn't she do an episode back in July? Was her first one?
Yeah.
Cindy's, yeah.
Well, and the post that Amy wasn't going to be a part of it after the 5th episode, or at least partway through this season, there was information about that back in May.
Yeah.
I think Amy first posted, I'm done on the Dead Files in January.
Yeah.
It was not an abrupt thing.
Yeah.
Much to not how Steve portrayed it in the show.
Right.
I just got a call. Amy not on the door.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Steven.
Yeah.
I don't
like the way they handled that at all.
It was so shitty.
It made it sound like she just said,
up and left.
Fuck y'all, I'm out of here. And you know what? Maybe she did, and she probably deserved to be able to do that. Everybody can rage quit their job if they want to. I've done it.
Yeah.
But he made it sound like, oh, they left her. She left them in the lurch. And
they had to scramble to find somebody.
Yeah.
And it's like, no,
Amy gave them Cindy's name.
ample
Amy
time.
suggested
Yeah.
Cindy.
Yeah, he did say in that dumb car scene, he did say Amy suggested Cindy fill in for her. But when he says fill in for her, it makes it sound like she's coming back, which is probably why these people think that she's coming back. She's not coming back, you guys. She's not coming back.
Yeah, as far as it posts on her like Instagram and that sort of stuff, the actual Amy Allen Instagram.
Yes, not the fake ones.
I mean, she's made comments about about starting over in a field that she's been a part of previously, but not for a long time, and starting that over again in her early 50s. And, I think we are not owed an explanation.
No.
As much as we want it.
No.
We're not owed that. Just like if you have something in your life that you're like, I need to close the door on this, you don't owe anybody else an explanation for. And it's hard for us because we're in a society that is used to instant gratification.
And knowing everything about celebrities.
And I think that's why people ask that question a lot on there rather than Google it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or Google will answer your question really easily.
Do a search and see that this question's been asked 1 gazillion times this week.
Yeah.
And I know some people have gone to like, the admins should not approve this stuff. You know what? The admins are getting how many posts a day? And there's maybe 1 or 2, maybe a couple more than that, but highly doubtful.
I think that the admins should not let every Tom, Dick, and Harry into that group. I think there should be some questions. And one of the questions should be, Amy has left the show. She is not coming back. Are you joining this group so that you can ask that question?
Yeah.
If the answer is yes, you're not getting in. Because that's what people do. They join and then they ask the question.
Yeah.
And then they go, well, I just joined. I didn't know.
Thanks for adding me, but where the hell's Amy?
Yeah. Thanks for the ad.
I don't know if they think like Amy or Cindy or Steve runs these.
They think that they're in there because they always say, Amy, we love you. Amy, Amy's not reading this.
Steve, I'm in Florida. Come and get
Oh my God,
an autograph.
Lady,
Sure.
I live in Florida. I would like to get an autograph. Come find me or whatever.
Just drop
He's just going to jump right on that.
Yeah. Hop in the cab.
I mean, he is single now.
Yeah. I mean, I try to think that people have good intentions and mean well, but sometimes it's just like, take a moment and think, has this been asked before?
Do you think anybody else in this group of 14,000 people might also be curious?
I bet no one's ever asked this question.
You're like, I'm the first one.
I am so smart. I'm the first person to think
the road.
Yeah.
And
oh boy.
It's great because there's love for Amy, but then because we all feel, because of the way social media is and how everything is, we feel like we know people.
Yeah.
And we don't.
Yeah.
It's dangerous. It's a slippery slope to put your life on social media. And we see it all the time with TikTokers who break up or whatever. And then, everybody wants an explanation. And
Dylan Mulvaney went through bad shit. And she was gone for a really long time. I just thought she wasn't showing up on my For You page. But then I finally saw her and she was like, I had to take time off because of all the bullying. And
it's sick. Anyways,
that was fun.
That was fun.
Oh, we really took
we
some
got deep.
turns. We went down the canyon.
Oh, yeah.
We sure did. Yeah, that one.
Nailed it.
Jessica. I was just going to let both of you go through it for a little bit.
Jessica
Canyon. We just dove head first.
Trying to think what else, if there was anything else within. I mean, the place is definitely super cute. And you can see
it's a beautiful house and property.
Where you would need some of that renovation. Because the way that it was all kind of laid out and stuff, it probably needed a lot of walls knocked down that were really load bearing. But
that's what releases the mass. Any construction.
That's right. And when we did that at our old house, I had.
Cindy's like, don't do it. And Lisa's like, fuck you, I'm going to fucking do it.
Well, I think she'd already done it.
She'd done it. And
yeah.
But yeah. Before we get off, we already have, but let's go back for a second to Cindy sketching. Cindy did do a sketch in this episode and they showed it.
And they gave it to him because they were like, well, Steve said if they decide to stay, is there anything they can do? And Sydney said, well, I did do a sketch of like a spirit guide
Yeah, spirit
for
guide
them
that's there.
to
Yeah.
hang in their house. And she said, hang this, talk to him, ask him for protection.
Yep.
I hope they did.
I hope so,
since they're
too.
not moving.
Yeah. But I thought that was cool that it's because, like, remember last week, Donald said that Cindy did a sketch for Reagan.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know if she got to keep it or not, because when we asked if we could see it, they said
I don't
They
think
did.
she did.
I don't think she. Yeah, they said
They took them.
it was
The
a
dead
picture
files
of
took 'em.
her. It was supposed to be some
Oh, that's
old
right.
nun,
It was,
and then it was her grandmother.
Yeah.
Reagan's great grandmother.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So she said they took it with them, which is really shitty to do.
At least, hopefully, she took a
At least
picture
like
of
that
it.
one. That's one that has, it was her grandmother.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
So hopefully they'll incorporate that a little bit more, like they did this
I did
time,
like that,
and
yeah.
add that. And Cindy's art is very cool. It's very
She-
weird
yeah.
and kind of spooky,
like,
and I love it.
modern and abstract kind of mixed together.
I'm curious to see if they're going to have, if she does automatic writing in the final few episodes that we're going to have here, because she's already done it in these
And-
2 episodes. I don't recall it being in episode 6.
No.
Paladin, I don't think it
But
was.
that was one of those other, like, is this a recurring theme? Is this something that's going to, obviously it's something that she does. And we don't know, like, what is the, cause and effect? What's the reason that she sets down to do it? Or is it more of, like, we need to have her do the automatic writing, like, that
Yeah,
sort of thing?
she can't force that. I mean,
No.
she could, but it wouldn't work out.
Right.
So, and I know she did that a lot on the Hosier files.
Yep.
Holzer. I was going to say Hosier.
That's Michigan's state mascot. Hoosiers.
Hoosiers.
And
Sport.
it's
Hoosier.
Indiana, which is south of Michigan.
It's in the South, Megan.
I did not say in the South. I said South.
I know.
No, I believe you said the south.
No, I didn't.
You said it was South Iowa.
I said it
what
was
you
No, she
South.
said south. She said south. And I was
Yeah.
like, I mean,
Which-
technically,
It's not wrong. I didn't
can you
say,
see why I went where I went,
No,
however?
because I didn't say the South. I said it is South, which is not wrong.
I'm just going to say, we are in Minnesota.
I will-
A lot of America
Most
is
everything is south.
of us.
Yes, but it's not the South. Also proving my point. I will die on this hill.
Well, I will be on top of the hill defending it at a better location.
You'll be,
And I'll be
you'll be at the
south of
South.
you.
I don't know if you know how hills work, but south is not necessarily a direction on a hill.
Yes, it is. If you're below the top, you're south of the hill. Yes.
No,
You know how directions work?
You're just down the hill.
Yeah, south.
What if this is Canada? This is you. And you're going down the hill. That's south.
Yes.
But what if you're going this
Down the
way?
you're that's
You're
going to the north
north
side.
down the hill, Canada.
But you're still going south down the hill. I don't understand why you don't get this.
So
North and south are like this. There's a different is it?
why
Oh, okay, no, but I get it. You're right. You're just going down, but you're going north.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Down north. Okay,
Yeah.
it's not south north.
Yeah.
It's down. Okay.
Yeah. I was trying to yeah. Anyway.
So directions stay the same directions if you use north, south, east, west, because they're cardinal directions, no matter which way you're facing.
Not Blue Jay directions. You
Or
get it?
even
I-
or even chickadee. Or I
Chickadee.
was thinking all these birds. I had the bird app, and all the birds that come in our yard, and I hear that chickadee dee 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 dee. Like that's how I can remember that one. We have so many cardinals.
I love cardinals.
And Blue Jays.
I fucking hate Blue Jays.
Blue jays, they're mean. They squawk.
They are annoying. They're pretty, but they're annoying. Oh my god, like me.
If you were a bird, what bird would you be?
Bird. I would be a Blue Jay because I
Mockingjay.
squawk.
Yeah, I was sleeping with the window open a few nights ago, and it was super nice out. And I heard the hoot hoot hoot, and I turned the app on. It was a barred owl.
Yes. That is so cool.
And Vinny sat up, and I was like, baby, you're not going outside when that thing is out there.
He will eat you.
He will eat you, pick you up, and take you away.
And eat your face.
Yeah, we don't like, I love owls. I love them, but that was scary. And I've heard a different owl too, but I never have that app.
Most likely we've also got a lot of great horned owls.
Yep.
And
That's
those
what Greg says it is.
like, you get kind of that that's the purring. It's like,
oh, okay.
So,
well, on the app, we were listening to, Greg and I were listening to the barred owl sound on the app, and I will play it for you right now because it is pretty funny. I actually think it's a person making this noise. I'll put it in my microphone. Hopefully this works. Oh.
Volume helps.
Yeah. Is that real? It sounds like a person doing that.
Here's a great horned owl. Can we hear that?
yeah.
Oh, hang on. That sounds like a person to me.
That's a great horn.
Yeah.
They are really
pretty.
cool. We have a great horn that's up near our hunting property or in the woodlands there. And so just around like daybreak. So when we get into our deer stands and stuff, you're getting up there before the sun comes up. So it's super dark and everything. But then you start to get that gray sky before dawn breaks. And then you can see the owl like kind of flying through the air and coming in. I will say, well, what will make you crap your pants are turkeys.
Oh, God.
Turkeys roost in trees.
They're mean.
Well, yes, they are. But when they roost in
Also
trees
bad.
in a herd, flock, whatever, I don't know what a group of turkeys is called. Megan, you look.
Oh, we
that one
figured
up.
this out at one point.
I don't remember.
It's a gobble. No.
But
we
their
turned off
wings
Janet.
like
Yes,
when
you
they
mentioned
open
this
them,
before.
and then
Yeah.
when they come down to the ground and they hit the ground.
Gaggle. Gaggle of turkeys.
See, that
Really,
makes
just
them
like
sound not
geese.
smart, but they are.
Should be called a dongle of turkeys.
Wild turkeys don't really have that thing over their nose. They have beard up there.
Turkeys are so mean.
They're mean. And they're
I
ugly.
do not feel bad
And they're
for eating
dumb.
a-
They're so.
Why you gotta always side with the birds?
Because they don't have a voice here.
They do.
Yeah, they
and
do.
It's
They're
annoying.
fucking loud.
Please go hunting and use that call.
It's actually
Everything in the woods is like, what the fuck is that?
Hey, they'd all come out to investigate and get your shot. Blah, 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 blah.
Blah, blah, blah. It's like, that sounds like a cross between
It's a Looney Tune,
here.
is what it is. It's
That sounds like a
Looney Tune.
cross between.
Exactly the same. That's what I sounded like.
I was going to say it sounded a little like a chickadee.
That's a
That
turkey.
sounds like a dog.
No, it's a turkey.
Look at that.
That's a turkey call that like. So you can use a little box. That's a turkey call, but yeah, it will bring them in if you do it right.
So don't listen to this podcast while you're driving with the windows down where there's turkeys.
Because they will
Or
all
you might be
flock to
attacked.
you. You will get a gaggle of turkeys.
We'll have to put that in the
Trigger warning.
Trigger warning in the
Do not listen
Content
to
warnings.
content warning. That's it.
content warnings. Do not listen to this unless you want to be
There are
mauled by
bird
turkeys.
calls in this episode.
And it is really funny though to watch them. Is like I've seen a group of 30 of them going through the
It's
woods.
called a
and-
gaggle.
Yeah, you can. I don't want to call them a gaggle. They are
First of all,
actually,
it's a gaggle.
they are
not
kind
a
of smart
gaggle.
birds,
Giggle.
Yeah.
Gaggle.
but they're also very
You're
observant.
gonna have to
So
cut
they,
like half of it.
This will be for the Patreon.
I'm just ignoring at this point and just gonna keep going. No,
Well, smart.
but it is kind of fun to watch them when you can, when you're in the early November, leaves are all down and you can see kind of a ways out and you just see movement. And so you start like looking over there. What do you see? And you just see like
A gaggle.
a gaggle of turkeys going through the forest floor. But then there'll always be like one that's behind and it's like, wait, mom, I'm coming.
If I was a turkey, that one would be me.
Yeah.
Wait for me.
I'm coming.
And then it gets distracted by the acorns on the ground.
Oh.
And then it's like,
Oh,
shit.
she does. That's what Vivi does.
And then I call. And they're like, "What the fuck was that?"
That one's sick. Put it down.
They're like, "Oh, it's Special Megan coming again."
We'll use that one to distract the hunters.
Yes. We'll push her down and run.
But I mean, just like with any male species, they get distracted by the anything that's female. You'll see them like some turkey hunters have had where they like have their hen. I'm just ignoring both of you right now, but they'll have their hen.
There was an R in that. So
I don't know what's
you
going
put
on.
an R in boobs.
Just put a W in.
You put an R in. You put an R in. Burbs. I'm sorry.
I was just seeing that some hunters have seen their, like the turkey decoys that they put out get kind of attacked by other toms that come in, which are
Male turkeys.
Yep,
Female turkeys are called a Jenny.
correct.
Oh, like Jenny
And
O.
I
do-
bet you thought I
do-
didn't know that.
Do you know what a young male turkey is called?
Tom Tom.
No.
Junior Tom. A TJ for Tom Jr.
A Jake.
A Jake.
Jake.
You know,
Jake
I
and
did-
Jenny.
You know what? I dated a Jake in high school.
Did you? Was he a turkey?
He was a dick.
Oh, so he's a turkey. Oh boy. Okay. So I would
To
say this.
recap-
We'll do a warning in the beginning. This is 90%
Bullshit.
bullshit and
Bullshit,
stream of
bullshit,
consciousness
bullshit.
and laughter and all of that, and about 10% dead files content.
Yeah, there wasn't that much to unpack.
Yeah, it really, I mean, we all kind of felt the same way that, yes, we believe them. We think that everything they saw is real. It really happened and all of that. Cindy was great. We liked the editing. We liked the kind of spookier tone of it, which is like art direction or whatever. I think that's improved without being overly campy.
Dramatic.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like
Yep.
some of the old Amy episodes were, and obviously it's not her fault, but they were like, she would say, "Oh, I hear like some whispering," and then you'd hear,
I know, and it's like, come on.
and so they've kind of matured, I would say, a
Mhm.
bit in that. But yes, I think that we all kind of agreed that Lisa, and I don't know about the family, but that she seemed to be
Lisa for sure.
she seemed to be like wanting to be on TV, wanting to have all of this
Validation.
stuff validated, which I don't blame her.
I don't either.
100% agree.
I would love to have somebody have come to my old house and said, "You are right. Somebody is smoking a cigar in that room, or a cigarette in that room. Yes, there is a person over here. Yes, to be able to."
Greg still wouldn't
verify
have
what I
believed
said.
it.
And
Right.
Greg would find someone staring at him and telling him,
Yes.
"Hey, I'm a ghost and I live here too." And he'd be like, "I must have been drinking."
I just made that up. That was in my head. And you know what's funny
With the
though?
dogs.
It was the dog.
Yeah, it was the dogs. What's funny is that whenever we sit down to watch a movie, especially during spooky time, which we're coming up on, he always wants to watch a ghost or a haunted house movie. He loves
Probably because
movies about ghosts and haunted
I
houses.
would
You.
think it's because I don't. I would think it's because to him it's not real. So it's a way to like escape reality because he doesn't believe in it.
I actually think that he does. He just is afraid. He just doesn't want to admit it.
Mhm.
Maybe.
Doesn't want to admit it.
Okay.
That's what I think. But I love those movies too, so I'm happy to watch them, even if I've already seen them.
I am going to see A
Same.
Haunting in Venice this weekend. I am so
Oh.
excited for it.
Yes, we're excited for that one too. That's the Agatha Christie one. That's Kenneth Branagh, and no,
This one is supposed
okay.
to be because it is a murder that happens during a seance.
Oh,
And Michelle Yeoh
okay.
plays the
Oh, I-
psychic.
There's so many
and
good
then
people in
you
his
have
movies.
Kelly Riley, who's Beth Dutton on Yellowstone,
Oh yeah.
who is mourning the loss of her daughter, it sounds like. And I believe Tina Fey is in it, and Jamie Dornan, and the great cast that it sounds like. And the articles that I read of people who saw it last week were, on the pre-screens or whatever, was that this is the perfect kickoff to spooky season. It
Okay.
is. It's got that aspect, whereas like what is it? It's a follow-up to Murder on the Orient Express and Death on the Nile.
Yeah.
Those ones were not necessarily like spooky.
Right. But
ones.
they were.
This one's a little bit more of the spooky thriller.
Agatha Christie, multiple stars, ensemble casts, kind of a thing where like somebody dies and nobody's leaving this room until we figure out who did it.
Yeah.
And
you have to see it and tell me if it's scary, because I do not like scary movies. I'm not a scary movie person. I hate them.
Every
I much prefer
October
those versus the slasher.
I don't like
I
slashers.
hate those. Like Saw. What's the point?
I've never seen.
I don't want to see Saw.
I always say I've never seen a Saw.
It's stupid.
I saw one and I've seen parts of it a few times, and it's always the one where they get drowned in.
Ugh. No, thank you. No, I don't care for the blood. I like the boo scary, not the blood scary.
I love Mike Flanagan stuff.
Yeah. And he's coming out with the Fall of the House of Usher.
I can't wait. And his wife is Kate
Yes.
Siegel.
Yes.
And
she's in it.
Yeah.
Of course.
If you haven't seen the movie Hush.
Yes, I have. Oh, that's scary. You will hate it, Megan. It's terrifying.
I'm not gonna watch it.
She's deaf. And she's in a house in the middle of the woods.
Like a cabin.
Sounds terrifying. Why would you watch that? I don't understand being.
I like being scared.
I don't understand it.
I like being scared when I know I'm safe.
Because you're not safe.
Yes, I'm sitting in my house watching it. There's no man outside banging on the door.
You know how many large dogs I have in my house?
I only have one large, and he's blind and deaf. He's not much help.
No, he's not. He'll run into the wall.
Yeah, he will. He will.
I'd put my money on Talon. She'll be the one to take anybody out. Kiri will be like, what was that noise? And Wesley would be like, Mom, I heard something. I'm going to bark from behind you.
Yeah.
Actually, I think he'd protect me, but he would be much more willing to stay behind somebody else.
Our black lab bear was sweet, dumb as a box of rocks, and scaredy cat. Like, we had a homeless, I assume homeless, drunk anyway, person sleep on our porch one night. Mm-hmm. And when she saw him out there, well, one of the other dogs saw him and started yelling, barking through the window. It was a big glass window. And as soon as she saw that there was someone out there, she ran upstairs and hid under the bed.
Yeah, if my brother's dog was over and would be there, that person probably wouldn't be existing much longer. Pike is a very good boy, but he is a reactive dog.
That's scary.
And somebody being outside, breaking in from the outside, I would know I was protected.
Yeah.
Next week, we'll be talking about Dead Files Season 15, Episode 8 or 9, depending on which one you're looking at. It's called Nowhere to Hide. Everything seemed picture perfect for Job and his family until his cousin's murder blew open the paranormal floodgates in their Colorado home. Desperate for answers and terrified for his young children's safety, Job reaches out to Steve and Cindy for help. And it might be Job.
I'm guessing it's Job.
It's Job. That's biblical. The Bible.
It's also from Arrested Development. Job was the magician. I mean, the illusionist.
Nonetheless, this will be an episode next week.
Yep, that'll be good. Maybe we'll end up finding the clients and we can talk to them. That would be nice. So that's where we are.
Thanks for listening
and joining us today, guys.
Thanks, everyone. And just remember that the only explanation
is paranormal.
Literally the only explanation.
Literally the only
100%.
explanation is paranormal.
You'll understand that at some point in time if you watch and listen to all of our episodes.
That's right. Okay. Thanks, everybody.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to the Activity Continues podcast. We really appreciate you giving us your ears for a bit. Please reach out if you have a suggestion for which episode of the Dead Files we should cover next, or if you have a spooky story you'd like us to share on the show. We can be reached at theactivitycontinues@gmail.com or through our website or any of our socials. Links are all in the description of the show. Please feel free to drop us a note and say hi. And join us next time when the activity continues.
The Activity Continues is produced by me, Amy, at Collected Sounds Media and is part of the independent Collected Sounds podcast network. We are also proud members of the Boo Pod network of super cool podcasts.
Nailed it.